welcome to Evoland. This is a game that I apparently played like 2 hours of, but I remember very little about. I know that the way it kind of works is you unlock the game as you go on. So right now we just unlocked sound effects, and it's a 2D game. Eventually, spoiler alert, it'll be a 3D game. We just unlocked smoother scrolling. It's a really neat idea for a game. I'm interested in finding out how good of a game is it really, because it's just been sitting in my Steam library. And like I say, it says I've played 2 hours of it, but I actually remember next to nothing about this game. Like, all of this is unfamiliar to me. So I'm kind of interested in seeing where it goes. Currently, we're kind of playing like a Zelda kind of thing. But, if you were to ask me, I mean, my memory of this game involved it being a turn-based RPG, which doesn't seem true right now, but maybe it'll become that later. That's what I seem to remember, is that it kind of looks a bit like Final Fantasy, and it's a turn-based RPG, but this feels a lot like Legend of Zelda, so I don't know. But yeah, let's go. Those look exactly like Octoroks. Are they allowed to do that? Oh, we got music. Okay, that's pretty exciting, I guess. We got save points, sure. Don't need those, we're only playing it the once. And yeah, there's these hidden stars, which make you think you're gonna get a new game mechanic, but actually you never do. I don't know what Double Twin is. I'm guessing that's a card game, considering I keep getting cards. But I don't know what it is. Oh, we got color. That's pretty exciting. Wait, actually goes straight back to the title screen if you die. That was really jarring. Okay. Well, I mean, at least I went to the save point, right? Before I got the color, though. That's kind of interesting. Like, you die, you can lose parts of the actual game. It is kind of interesting. Dying before you get the save point would be a bit irritating, and definitely possible. But I don't know why, like, as soon as I got the save point, I've become hopeless at the game. Like, I can't seem to play it particularly well. Despite the fact that I fought these enemies before and didn't die, obviously. I don't know, maybe it's a mental difference. There's another one over there to the left. I don't know how I'm gonna get to... Oh no, those are the ones from earlier, so I've already been down. Killed that guy. And push this, maybe? No, maybe I'll unlock the ability to... Okay, the combat is getting to me a bit. It's it doesn't control the best, but sure. It's not that it controls poorly, it's just that, like, one hit and you're done kind of aspect makes it a bit frustrating. Because the game actually controls fine. You just walk up, down, left, right, and you have a sword. Like, it controls kind of like Zelda, except you can move and attack at the same time, which I don't think you can do in the original Zelda. You have to stand still while you attack. But I should play the original Zelda. That game is bad. The idea behind Zelda was like, oh, you'll share... Oh, I unlocked the title screen? I'm unlocking lore that I'm not going to read. Yeah, the idea behind the original Zelda was like, oh yeah, you'll share ideas with other people playing the game of stuff you found until eventually you can beat it. But in a modern environment, and probably even, if I had to guess, at the time, that kind of doesn't work, because there's so much random stuff in that game that you will just never find naturally. And you need, like, dozens of friends who have the game to randomly stumble upon all of that stuff as a collective. Can I cut the sign? No. You can do that in Zelda. Can't do that in this game. It's just a bit... It's just a bit frustrating that, like, the only way... Oh, here we go. The only way for us to play those games, like The Legend of Zelda Original, the only real way to play that is with a guide up on the other screen. Because it is genuinely that bad. Like, I don't want to... I don't know. I guess I don't want to criticize it, like... I guess I do want to criticize... I was going to say I don't want to criticize it that bad, because, you know, it's a product of its time, but at the same time, like, I have to play it in 2024, and I think it's not very good for what it is at the time that I'm playing. Okay, yeah. Oh, we just unlocked turn-based battles. Which actually... Maybe I don't want to unlock turn-based battles. Maybe it would have been better if I didn't, because then I wouldn't get random encounters. But no, it's probably... Whoa! Mode 7. Yeah, this is very Final Fantasy. This is the game I remembered. You know, it's been a while since I've played an RPG, like a turn-based RPG. They are kind of fun. I want to play Super Mario RPG. I should do that one next. That's kind of fun. A fun little game. Although it's a long game too, I definitely won't finish it. Super Mario RPG has one of the best resources for speedrunners I've seen from like a kind of niche community. Because they have like a website that has a bunch of different routes and stuff and how much time each like thing saves and stuff like that. It's really cool. I did think about speedrunning the game, but it's a long speedrun. It's like 2 and a bit hours, and that wouldn't be that bad if it was like a platformer, but because it's not a platformer and it's actually an RPG, you actually need to like know a bunch of stuff about the game and like manage items and stuff, and that's when it starts to get a bit much for me. Now we can enter people's houses. That'll be fun. Hopefully they have loot for us. Yup. I'm at 83 health. I don't really need any more than that, I would think. So we'll just ignore the innkeeper, I guess. I'm assuming that talking to the innkeeper isn't going to do anything other than let me sleep. But maybe there is something I'm missing. Okay, what's in this? Shopkeeper. Now this is what we want. We can sell our spend our gold here. Not allow us to sell weapons to children. Am I a child? Well, that's a bit of a shame. Maybe I can unlock adulthood or something so that I can buy the sword. I mean, I have a sword already, so I'm not that worried about it. But okay, what's up here? This door is locked. That probably means there's something in there. Can I go around the back, maybe? No. Okay. Come back to that later. Oh, another chest. We could talk. I don't speak to children? Okay. This is just bullying at this point. This game also has a sequel, by the way. Evoland 2 is a thing. Might play that. It's kind of weird, though, because I would think, like, how much further can you evolve? Because, like, I don't know how fun it would be to go back. Like, once you've got to the, like, 3D stuff, for example. Would it be fun to go back to the 2D stuff? Not that 3D is always better than 2D or anything. But why does everyone in this town hate children? What? That's, like, so weird. Okay, well, I guess I gotta go talk to the other children. I don't think there are any. Unless I've missed them. Like, I have to backtrack a bit to see if they... Sorry, I don't speak to children. Yeah, why not? I found a child! Adults are not funny. They always complain about us children. If only I could eat the growth seed, I would no longer be a child. But the seed I found has fallen down the well. I'm too scared to get it back. It's too dark down there. Okay, so we go to the well, get the growth seed, and we can buy some swords. I think that's the strat. Hello! What are you doing here? Children should go to bed. It's the middle of the day. It's the middle of the day. What do you mean? Yes? Oh, I've been elongated. I'm tall now. God, the sprites for the adults are like really big compared to the kid ones. I feel like it actually looked better when I was smaller, but whatever. Oh, now I've got like a sword swing and not just a stab. I've learned the way. It is interesting having like a stab attack versus a swing, because generally they're like the same thing, right? Like they do whatever your sword damage is, but the swing hits a wider area than the stab. Kind of interesting. Okay, here we go. Now we can buy a longsword, we can get Phoenix down, and we can get a rare card, a booster pack. Well, we'll have the longsword, yeah. Okay, well, is there anything else I can do in this bit? I could talk to some of the people, I guess. I talked to that guy. Maybe this guy who told me to talk to the children will... Quite strong, won't let you pass with your current equipment. Okay, well... Fine. Let's talk to the kid, because, like, all the adults are mean to him. Maybe we can, like, empathize, because we were a kid. Okay, well, he's just saying the same shit. Unfortunately, I ate it, so you're never gonna be an adult, I guess. Oh, see, this is hard. How do I decide which slime to one-hit KO? But I was doing that before I even got the longsword, but... It's interesting that you can just buy rare cards, because I thought I would be looking for them all to find them, but I guess to get the good cards, I gotta cough up money. It's a lot like Magic the Gathering, I hear. I haven't actually played that game. Wait, I'm small? I don't understand. I was told just a second ago. When I was... So when I'm out here, I'm tall, but when I'm back there, I'm still small. That's kind of weird. Yeah, so I've heard about Magic the Gathering. You can buy some expensive cards to have a leg up on the competition, which is kind of funny. Like, you know, there's formats, and bear in mind I don't play any trading card games, but like there's formats where, you know, wealth is not an advantage. There's like draft and pauper. I've heard pauper is where you use common cards. One of my friends likes Magic, and I've just been talking to him about it. I find the idea of just winning because you have more money to be supremely funny. It's obviously not like a super balanced card game, I guess, but maybe it still is. I don't know. I just find it funny. And it reminds me a lot of like a lot of TV shows were made to like sell toys to kids or cards to kids, like Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game and stuff. And it reminds me a lot of the TV show there, because like Kaiba's this rich guy, like, yeah, he's good at Duel Monsters, but he has a leg up because he owns Kaiba Corp and he has a lot of money, right? Like, that is objectively true. I don't know what other equipment I need to get, but I don't think I can advance very far right now. God, what was I saying? It kind of reminds me of that, because like there's an effort to make everything kind of balanced, I guess, but like with actual games that people actually play, there's usually some effort to make the games balanced and fair. But with a card game that's been going for multiple decades, where you can just buy the best cards, it's kind of funny that that's a thing that exists. I know that Yu-Gi-Oh! Also has multiple formats, but I don't know anything about them. I don't have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Friend. Although I wish I did. Yu-Gi-Oh's a very, like... The anime was very... Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was a show that I watched quite a lot growing up, so I wish I did know more about... Oh, I get to pick a name? Okay, let's go with... Gold. Because... Oh, Gone? Yeah, let's go with Gone. I was gonna do Gold for Melon Keeper Gold, but we can do Gone for Gone Freaks from Hunter x Hunter. I've never seen Hunter x Hunter. Don't know a lot about it. Hunter x Hunter is one of those shows where it's like, I've had spoilers about it, but I don't really, like, care that much. It's like, I don't think that spoilers make a show worse. It can impact your, like, immediate reaction to, like, a dramatic scene or something if you know how it plays out. But there's a reason we rewatch shows, right? It's because knowing what's going to happen doesn't make them worse shows. Weird how she has an idol animation, but I don't. My name is gonna be Gold. There we go. Oh, yeah, Gold with 2 Ds, why not? Where was I? What was I talking about? Hunter x Hunter, spoilers. Yeah, I've had spoilers of shows before. I had a lot of spoilers for One Piece before I watched it. Some significant deaths. And other things. Like, I knew about Gear before I'd actually got to Enies Lobby. But I don't think it made it worse. If anything, it kind of gave me something to look forward to, and like the story beats were, you know, when they were coming up, I was like, oh, this is the moment and stuff. And it's also kind of fun because like, just because you've been spoiled on the destination doesn't mean you've been spoiled on the journey. And very often, the journey is way more exciting than the actual moment where, you know, something happens or something is revealed. So yeah, I'm a big proponent. Proponent is the word, right? I'm a big proponent of the idea that, you know, it's not that bad to be spoiled on something. I would still prefer if I wasn't. Like, I'm not going to go out giving people spoilers, but if it's the difference between them watching the show and them not, I don't mind revealing, like, something that might entice somebody to watch, even if it's a minor spoiler, right? The most damage I think that happens from spoilers is when people are spoiled on something that happens and they draw an incorrect conclusion about it. And I wish that I could give you an example, but if I did, I'd be potentially spoiling something that you haven't seen yet. So let me try and think. Let's go with like a public domain story, something that, you know, you've definitely probably maybe heard before. Let's go with Humpty Dumpty, right? We all know what happened with Humpty Dumpty. He sat on a wall, had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again, right? If I told you, oh yeah, Humpty Dumpty, he sat on a wall and he had a great fall, you might wrongly assume that I don't know, that he got put back together again, right? Like, you've had the spoiler of what happens to him, he falls off the wall, but you might assume that he will survive to the end, that it has a happy story. But in fact, Humpty Dumpty has quite a So yeah, that's the best example I could come up with on the spot there was Humpty Dumpty. It is kind of interesting. There are shows for which I'm very happy that I haven't been spoiled. Like Koilamagi Madoka Magica. I went into that show knowing very little about it, and some of the like dramatic moments in that show really paid off because of it. I don't like in a way that I don't think would have happened had I known what was going to happen. But now I can rewatch it and still say, yeah, this is awesome. Like, I really like this show. Despite the fact that I know everything that's going to happen, it's still worth it for me to watch this, just out of the enjoyment of the text. And I think that's a good thing. Like, it shouldn't only be about, you know, the surprise factor that you get when you watch it the first time. Like, it should be able to stand on its own if it's well written, and you know, that's an example of that. And also I love the idea that I can like kind of forget details. Obviously, if you've watched a TV show, you're not going to forget what happens in it, but equally you're not going to remember everything that happens either. It's a balancing act of, you know, your memory is not perfect. Probably my memory certainly is not perfect. I know other people who have surprisingly good memories. I mean, sometimes I'll be talking to someone that I've known for a long time, and they'll say something like, "Oh, remember when we met and like this is how it went?" And I'll be like, "I believe you. I have no idea. I have a surprisingly bad memory for stuff like that. My memory's not bad. I can remember information. I just seem to not remember details of situations very well." Like, one of my friends was talking about when I met them and our like first interaction. I could have sworn that we had met when we did a group project, like in uni. I could have sworn that that's when we met, but apparently we chose that group because we had already met like a couple weeks prior, and that whole couple weeks of time just kind of, you know, I believe that it happened, but it's not there. I don't think I have a problem with memory, for the record. It might sound like I'm saying, yeah, my memory's terrible. I'm fucking, you know, I don't know, I've got something medically wrong with me. I don't think I do. I kind of hope that I don't. Kind of hoping that there's nothing medically up with me there. Yeah, I think I'm fine. I think I could just have a surprisingly poor memory for specific things. I think I dedicate a lot more brain space to stuff that particularly interests me versus stuff that, I guess, at the time at least, was less significant. I guess meeting somebody for the first time who ended up being a good friend is a particularly significant moment. But at the time, very often, that can be... at the time, it was not special. Like, it wasn't a significant moment in time, I guess. It's interesting. I can watch a TV show and be like, oh, I remember this, but I didn't remember it until something in the show prompted my memory of it, right? Like the memory is there, but the retrieval, I guess, is the part that is more flawed, because where am I going with this? Because I can remember it given prompting. And one of the really cool things about memory is that it applies, and it's really funny that we go 3D here, because I don't think the 3D looks as good as the like high resolution sprites did. I don't think the sprites looked particularly good either. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the art style, as I said, about the adults looking quite stretched out. compared to the smaller sprites. But these 3D graphics, like, I guess it's the lack of texture, right? Like, the actual models are pretty cool, and I kind of I kind of like the style of them because they look kind of cartoony. But yeah, I think it's just the fact that there's very little texture that makes it kind of look worse than the 16-bit. But I'm sure we'll get better graphics at some point. Yeah, memory is an interesting thing. People tend to underestimate memory in quite significant ways sometimes. Like, you have a memory for like smells and things other than just like, people tend to remember memories as sight and sound because those are some of our most significant senses. But you do have a memory for smells, and you have a memory for feeling. I saw this post on, I think it was on TikTok or something, but it was just saying like, oh, it's amazing how, like, there we go, with these textures, at least the player character does look better. I don't know, the textures might be a bit over, I don't know, there might just be a bit too much detail. I don't know. Like I was gonna say, it's amazing how you can just like look at an object and kind of intuitively know how it would feel if you were to like lick it. If you were to taste an object, okay, you might not be able to picture the taste, but like the texture and the feeling. If you were to lick just a random object in the room you're in now, you can probably imagine how that would taste. You might be wrong, but it's kind of a vivid feeling, and I thought that was really interesting because you know, you haven't licked everything that's in your room. Probably, I can't speak for you. I know that I haven't. There's quite a lot of things in this room that I have not licked. For example, the walls. But I kind of know what it would taste like. I feel like I do. But I'm not going to test it. It's one of those things, like, when you get an idea in your head, you kind of feel like, oh, well, you know, I said I'm not going to test it. Maybe I'll lick the wall, maybe, but I'm not going to. And, you know, at some point I'll forget about it, and I won't think about licking the wall again. But then it'll come back in my mind, and I'll be like, maybe I should lick the wall. It's like a... what's it called? An impulsive thought. It's just like there. Or you could call it a compelling thought because it compels me to lick the wall. That would be an appropriate name for it. I'm kind of getting lost. I've definitely just been here. It's interesting that when I'm in this like adventure mode, the menu also changes from when it's in the like RPG mode. It's kind of interesting. I got a star! Let's go! I got a star! Oh, there we go! HD textures. It's looking like a Minecraft texture pack. I don't want to be mean about the art. I think the game looks fine. It's just like... kind of funny. Whoa! Okay, this looks like Final Fantasy. It's kind of weird, because I'm like half an hour into this game, and I feel like we've gotten to the end of the gimmick, right? Like... that's just Bowser. Wait, that is just Bowser. Right? Hold on. That is just Bowser, right? How can they do that? First they stole Octoroks, now they're stealing Bowser? What? But yeah, like, I feel like, you know, it's 3D and we've got high definition textures. Like, to me this feels like we've gotten to the peak of the gimmick. Unless they're gonna add like ray tracing, but I know that this game's only 100 megabytes, so it's not gonna have crazy like graphics or anything. Which like I miss when games were 100 megabytes. I didn't plan on talking about this in this video, but I might as well. It's absolutely absurd that what's it called? That Black Ops 6 is 310 gigabytes. That's bigger than GTA 6. GTA 6 is like 200 gigabytes or something, and that's a presumably much bigger game. I find it I find it hard to like fathom 310 gigabytes going all the way to one game, but the people who play Black Ops will play it, I guess. I mean, if a new Smash Brothers game was 310 gigabytes, would that stop me from playing it? I don't know. It's hard to fathom a game being that big. Like, the biggest game I think I've ever downloaded is probably like GTA 5 or Fortnite. Whichever one of those is bigger, they're like 100 gigs. They're like 100 gigs. And those are big games, but I mean, on the Fortnite end of things, like, that game introduces new content at a close to monthly basis. The fact that it's as small as it is, the fact that it's only 100 gigabytes with the sheer amount of content in that game is honestly impressive. So the fact that we've got Black Ops 6 coming out, it's 310 gigabytes, I just can't, like, I can't fathom it. And, like, I'm sure the game will be good. I don't want to go out there, because a lot of people have been taking this as an opportunity to be like, well, Black Ops sucks, like, Black Ops fans are stupid, of course they'll still put up with that. And it's like, I don't want to say all of that, because I've never played... The last Call of Duty game I played was Black Ops 2. So I have no skin in the game. I don't really know anything about the modern Black Ops games, what kind of content's in them, or what the fans are like. So I don't want to make it like a mean thing. I don't want to be rude about it and say, like, you know, the fans are the problem for putting up with whatever. Like, I think that's like a mean perspective, and at the end of the day, I think Activision makes the game. It is up to the developer, and I don't mean that on an individual basis, the actual, like, programmers and stuff. I mean, like, it's up to the company to kind of put their foot down and say, okay, we're not releasing a 310 gigabyte Black Ops game. And I can't believe it. Like, I know people who don't have enough storage space on their computers to play Black Ops 6, which is really funny. And I'm sure none of those people would have played Black Ops 6 anyway. The other controversy was apparently you have to have an internet connection to stream the textures. Like 310 gigabytes wasn't enough. I don't know how true that is, or like how significant it'll be that there's texture streaming. Maybe it's just so that they can add content to the game without providing an update. I don't know. It could be something like that. I genuinely have no idea. I don't want to make any conclusions about that, considering I don't really know anything about it. One thing I do know is I feel bad for, like, blind people, because, like, they are getting very little use out of those textures, if any use at all, and they still have to download 310 gigabytes, despite the fact that they're, you know, not able to appreciate the textures as much. Which, to be honest, like, we have peaked. I don't want to, like... I feel like we have peaked in terms of graphics. Like, okay, graphics could get better, but, like, we've gotten to a point where games already look very realistic. There was that body cam game, where it's like, I think you're a police officer, and the graphics are, like, really realistic. Like, we don't need games to be more realistic than this. I think there's a place for realistic graphics in games, although I generally prefer the more stylized kind of cartoony stuff. But like, it's not getting much better from here. The textures are already super high resolution, the lighting's already so good. Like, it's marginal improvements from here, right? Like, even 4K, like, going above 4K, maybe you can notice the difference up close to the screen, and it definitely allows you to get a bigger screen than if you had 4K. If you have, like, 8K graphics, sure, you can get a bigger screen and have the same apparent quality. But then, equally, if that's the angle you're going for, then what about the fact that like screens can only get so big? Like if I need to move my head to see the other side of the screen rather than just like moving my eyes, then like isn't that a bit much? Isn't that a bit over the top? I don't know. Maybe it's just like a matter of preference. Maybe it's for these people that have like home cinemas and they want a massive screen to play The Last of Us Part 2 on. Like, I guess that's fair. You know, different strokes for different folks, I believe, is what they say about it. But it just seems ridiculous to me that like we're still trying to make games look better. I played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That game looks amazing. I can't, like, obviously there are ways you can improve the graphics of the game, but I can't imagine looking at that game and being like, I need it to look better. I need more hair on Ratchet's back. I need more realistic lighting. It's like, these games look beautiful. I mean, Ratchet and Clank 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. If they gave the remake treatment and had like a Rift Apart graphics Ratchet and Clank 3 remake, that would be amazing. Not that the game looks bad on PS2, the game looks good on PS2, but the graphics of Rift Apart just like blew me away. It's such a gorgeous game. I really need to finish it. I haven't finished that game yet, but it's a really, really gorgeous game. And I like that the kind of improvements in graphics aren't specifically tailored always to I like that it's not always tailored specifically to making the games look more realistic. Like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, not a realistic game, doesn't look particularly realistic, but it really benefits from like better lighting and stuff that's kind of come about in recent years. It's got like ray tracing and stuff, and it's still cartoony, but it benefits from all of these things, and it creates a really gorgeous game. I'm a huge fan of Rift Apart and the way that it looks. So you know, there are benefits to this like increase in graphics fidelity, but even that game is not approaching 310 gigabytes. I don't know how big the game is. It's not that big. I don't know. Surely I can get past that. So it shoots 3 and then it waits. And that does the same. That does the same. Okay. Figured it out. Got light puzzle. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay. I gotta start here and then go around. While also dodging the fireballs, but I think I'm good. I'm good. Oh, and you can't be hurt during cutscenes. That's an improvement on many games I've played, where you can be hurt during cutscenes. I can't remember what game it was, but I have died in cutscenes before in some old games. Which is one of those things that when it happens, you kind of gotta laugh it off, but it is also like, come on, like a really basic feature that you don't get hit during cutscenes. We got the key. Guess what it's used for? Opening doors. Yeah, let's just damage boost. I'm like not worried about my health at all because enemies drop health more than they do damage to my health. See, that bat just gave me health. We got lava. This one will not turn into obsidian. Minecraft reference! We got a Minecraft reference on our hands, everybody. 10 blocks is the magical total. Okay, it's trolling me. Okay. Okay. I need to get bombs. Clearly, like, some of these walls are destructible. Was it, like, Arkham Knight or something? There was some Batman game where, like, one of the walls was destructible and nobody found it. Nobody found out that the wall was destructible. It's like... And the banana in DK64, it's crazy that, like, that can just happen. Right? Like the... You know, something can be in a game that is played and dissected by so many people, and yet stuff can just go under the radar. Like, you'd think that wouldn't happen anymore with stuff like data mining. Like, 196 hours was apparently how long it took, or was it that it was some 74. God, there was some number that was in the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and it was like the amount of hours. Apparently, this is... I don't know if this is true, actually. Maybe I shouldn't. But, like, apparently there was an item in Isaac named after the number of hours it was until the Lost was found. And the thing was that it actually got data mined. No, people didn't find it before it was data mined. It's kind of like... A secret like that, I guess, is easier to find. It's a PC game, but then at the same time, Donkey Kong 64 has like emulators and stuff. You can like dissect it, and still nobody found this banana that was apparently just hidden. I don't know. I find it really interesting. I find it like that you can hide something like that in a game and have it not be found, when the games have really big communities and a lot of eyes on them. It's very impressive. I'll say that. It's very impressive that the stuff stays hidden, I guess. And like that's the funny thing. Whoever put that banana there was probably not trying to create a huge secret. They were probably just putting a banana down, expecting people to find it, and then no one ever did. But it does make you wonder with things like these, like, the community didn't, like, as a collective, did not know about this banana for this long, but, like, somebody who played this game, because it, you know, it's a popular game, somebody probably did find it. Like, statistically, just the odds of someone finding it is like, yeah, someone probably found it at some point, and it just never got documented. It's like, imagine being that person, the first person to find that banana. It's just like absolutely, you know, astronomical odds. But I find it really, really fun that like mysteries still exist in games, right? Because when I was a kid, anything was possible, and could like just make shit up. And people would believe it. Not that I was making shit up. Often it would be me believing it. You know, I'd hear that Wario was in Mario Galaxy, and I'd be like, oh, how do I get him? And obviously he's not, right? Like, he's just not in the game. But it's interesting because that can't really happen anymore. If something sounds even slightly suspicious, like, oh, this hidden character's in the game, but you have to do this ridiculous set of steps to unlock them. Like, there are games that have that. Like, Unlocking the Lost. I think they changed it, but Unlocking the Lost was ridiculous originally. You had to, like, die in Basement 2 with Magdalene and, you know, get to beat Mom with Azazel and pick up the negative, and then beat the game with Isaac or something like that, and it's like, okay, this is like absurd. This is ridiculous. Like that kind of thing does exist in games, but as soon as something sounds weird or suspicious, I'll just look it up. And I'm not gonna fall for like a trick anymore. But like as a kid, it's like, yeah, all of this stuff could exist, I get. That is just the Buster Sword! How much is this game stealing for, like, that is just the Buster Sword. That's just a 3D model of the Buster Sword. Can they do that? We had Bowser, we had the Buster Sword. I'm so, like, confused. Those are Goombas! Zumba? Those are just Goombas! I'm so surprised that they can do that. Like, okay, the Goombas, sure, they're like Faraday, but that is just a Buster Sword. That is just like, but there's no like Faraday or like altered element to it at all. It's just a Buster Sword. I don't know why that has me. I'm just so surprised that that's a thing, I guess. I mean, you're fucking with Nintendo. You're putting Zumbas and Bowser in your game. But Nintendo, who DMCA's everything, bold, very very bold. But I guess it's parody. It's just a reference. I guess that's all it is. I'm personally surprised by that. That's all it is. Okay, I think we gotta run. I don't know if I can run, but Gon is on very low health. I mean, she's dead now. Yeah, let's just run. That would be nice. And let's see if we can get some heals in. Oh, this kind of reminds me of, you know, just because of the dark colors, it kind of reminds me of. Yeah, this looks a lot like Ocarina of Time. And, specifically the, like, evil mode Ocarina of Time, where, like, you come out the Temple of Time and everything's, like, fucked up. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the video here because I've talked myself around in circles here, but that was Evil Land. Pretty fun game. Got 47 minutes out of it. Pretty good.